Welcome back to the Anthony Lee Crypto channel. Guys, today we're going to dive into the altcoins. What I want to do is encourage you to take a look at this altcoin with an open mind, okay? I know what you want to hear. Everybody wants to hear that their coin is going to 50x, 100x. I get it. I want to hear that too, okay? But listen to me. I've been through 3 bull markets and I'm now in my 3rd bear market, okay? And I'm not saying I'm always correct, okay? But I know how these things go, okay? We're going to look at the coin from a technical standpoint. How many of you a few weeks ago, as your coin was going up 60, 70, 100%, was listening to the influencers telling you this time is different, super cycle, Bitcoin dominance is headed down, alt season is here, blah, 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 blah. And today your coin is probably down 50%. Okay, don't listen to the noise. Okay, we're going to look from a technical standpoint. Okay, I don't know about your fundamentals of your coin. I don't know any of that kind of stuff. We can't predict what may happen later, what partnerships may come in, what scandals may come up. We can't predict those types of things, but what we can predict and know for a fact are things like tokenomics, circulating supply, technical analysis. Those things don't change. So we can look at it from a technical standpoint and take a realistic approach to what this coin might do. If anything comes later, like some sort of hopium or some sort of deal or some sort of thing like that in the economy with your coin, where it gets worldwide mass adoption, great, that's a bonus. But be prepared for less, okay? Or be prepared for a more realistic target. The biggest mistake I made in my first cycle was listening to everyone else who said that my coin was going to 50, 60x. And as I sat here and watched it 10 and 15x, which was great, I didn't take profit because I was waiting on that 50x because I believed the narrative. And I wound up writing that coin all the way back down and round tripping it, right? I learned from that mistake. If you're not at least open-minded to hearing what a conservative approach would be, then you're only showing your inexperience in this market. So don't be inexperienced. If you are inexperienced, at least try to learn, okay? If I think your coin's going to 100x, I'm going to tell you that. If I think it's going to 5x, I'm going to tell you that. If I think it's going to 0, I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to keep it real with you. I know I could get way more clicks by just coming in and shouting 100x, but that's not going to serve you anything good in the future. So let's take a realistic approach to these coins, and we'll see if we can figure out where a good bull market top is going to be. Let's take a look at the charts. Here we go. Taking a look at GALA games by request. Looking at GALA on the 1 week time frame. And guys, what a coin with awful tokenomics. Oh my gosh, this coin has been seriously diluted with token unlocks. But let's dive in. Let's see what we can expect in the next cycle. So GALA set an all-time high price and market cap in November of 2021 with a price of 83 cents and a market cap of $5.8 billion. Now, pay attention. At the time you set this all-time high, your circulating supply was 7 billion coins. Okay. Fast forward to last cycle, March of 24, you set a cycle all-time high of 8 cents, just over 8 cents. At that time, you had a circulating supply of 35 billion coins. That is 5 times more than you had the previous cycle. Your market cap was also only $3 billion compared to almost $6 billion. So not only did you dilute the market with 5 times more coins, you had half as much interest in the coin. Almost $6 billion market cap dropped down to $3 billion market cap. So interest leaving the coin as well as overwhelming supply coming into the market. Taking a look at today, we have a price at less than 1 penny. Market cap is only 132 million, and you have almost 50 billion coins in circulation. By the next cycle, you will be fully diluted with all 50 billion coins on the market. That is 7 times more than you had at your all-time high. So in order to return to your all-time high price of 83 cents, you would have to do a $50 billion market. That's not right. You'd have to do a $41 billion market cap. 7 times your market cap all-time high, which is almost $6 billion. So you have to do a $41 billion market cap to reach your price all-time high of 83 cents. I'm sorry, guys, not financial advice, but that is never, ever, ever going to happen. If you just reach your previous cycle market cap high of $3 billion, your price is going to be 6 cents. And I'll be quite honest, guys, I really don't see that happening. I do have a price prediction here. What you can see from this chart before I show you that, though, you have now come and switched macro, I mean, on the life of the coin bearish. You got a high, you set a bear market low, you set a lower high, and now you've taken out that previous bear market low. So you now are in a bearish downtrend. So lower highs and lower lows can be expected. We got another lower high to come and yet another lower low, which brings me to the price prediction. Let me turn that on for you right there. The white line is your market cap high. So if you were to reach last cycle's, not even your first cycle, I don't think you do that, but if you reach last cycle's market cap high, you're going to have a price of 6 cents, but I think that's too optimistic. I think you do a $1 billion market cap, which brings you to a price of 2 cents. Now, how can we figure what you might do on market cap? You cannot fib this, okay? You cannot use a Fibonacci on this from price high to price low. That doesn't work, okay? You can't even do it in between last cycle to this cycle because you have so many more coins on the market, okay? The only time fibs would work on price is if you have the same or really negligible difference in coins, okay? You would have to have a negligible difference, but in this case, you have 7 times more coins. It doesn't work. But what does work is throwing a Fibonacci on your market cap. And you can see with the first cycle, high to the bear market low, GALA came on market cap to the 382 level and rejected from there. So it was a 382 retrace, and you could do the math as far as calculating price on that. But we already know what the price was. It was a little over 8 cents. However, we can now throw this same fib on current price action. So we can come look at last cycle high market cap down to current market cap. And if you were to come back up to the 382, you can see that brings you right at $1 billion. And I think that is the best that you get. And from that market cap divided by coins. So you would have a $1 billion market cap divided by 50 billion coins. Let me try that again. 1 billion market cap divided by 50 billion coins gives you a price of 2 cents. And that is my target for GALA is 2 cents. I do think you come a little bit lower, though, especially if Bitcoin rolls over in Q4 of this year. You're already sub 1 penny, but I do think you get a shot a little bit lower. If Bitcoin rolls over in the fall, like it always does, you could come down into this zone right here, find a little bit of support, and then I think you, on a good cycle, could rally up to 2 cents before coming in and setting a lower low in the next bear market. That is my prediction for GALA. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Also, if you want me to look at your altcoin or any other altcoin, drop a comment below and I'll happy to take a look at it. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing regular updates on GALA and other altcoins along the way. So stay tuned here and I will let you know what I think. I'll see you guys next time.